See this, I think the faculty development issue has been spoken about in bits and pieces today, right, since the morning. But I think it's time, if we want to be serious about faculty development, we've got to start looking at it in a much more integrated way. I think most institutions now have some funding. There is some resources available to send people to workshops, conferences, to faculty development programs. But how does it all finally tie together towards creating a good environment for faculty development? I think that's the major challenge. To my mind, there are a few things we need to focus on if we want to look at faculty development seriously. The first is we need to be willing to spend more time with faculty to understand what are their individual aspirations and help them achieve those aspirations. In many institutions, there is a concept of an annual plan for faculty, but it's usually a somewhat mechanical exercise, where the faculty member writes what courses he or she will teach, what research they're planning to do, etc. It's not really followed up with a more serious discussion on how that individual can take himself or herself as a scholar forward. So the first point I would like to underline is the importance of the institution having a mechanism for interacting with faculty on an individual basis to create some kind of an individual plan which focuses on their both long-term and short-term aspirations and how they would like to move towards achieving those. The second important thing is to have a more robust review process. Once again, I find in most institutions, the review processes are either very mechanical. Okay, what feedback did you get? That's good. Bad. Bad means maybe you have to go, or some other punishment. Good means okay, we are happy. You please continue for next year. It's not a very sort of development-oriented feedback process. So one important aspect we need to bring into faculty development is to have a more development-oriented review, which means you have to also spend significant time and effort in doing the review process. I'm very happy to note that at least in recent past, I've seen institutions are changing. Recently, I went to a private institution where they had a very serious review of each faculty. They had called external people, senior faculty, to come and listen to each of the faculty. But this need not be external. It could even be an internal process. There's no particular reason why external people have to come in to do this. So I think that's the second thing I would say is this review is required. The third part is what happens after the review. So just like you would have an HR process in a company which identifies where are the gaps, what does the faculty member need to do to get to the next level of competence, then the institute also needs to work with the faculty to come up with a plan. And there could be many things. There could be some faculty might need more help in teaching. What actual mechanisms do we have on the ground to help faculty become better teachers? Often not too much, except telling them, no, this year you got only 3 out of 5, next year you better get 4 out of 5. That's not a plan for how the teacher will improve his or her teaching. One good trend I'm beginning to see is that many of the institutes are now setting up centers for teaching and learning. A lot of that is being pushed by the accreditation process, so that's one of the good outcomes of accreditation. But we need to make sure those centers for teaching and learning work much better. For example, do faculty members have access to good mentors? Are there senior faculty who are willing to spend time giving feedback? Is there a mechanism inside the institute where the faculty member can get his or her session video recorded so that they can see how their classroom experience looks? I mean, there are a lot of things one could do, but you've got to put in place this infrastructure and then make it sure it happens on a regular basis. So, I could go on. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I think it's really time that we started looking at faculty development much more seriously. One of the tragedies of Indian education in general and management education in particular is that we are quite willing to invest huge amounts of money on physical infrastructure, but we are not willing to invest the same amount of money and time and effort in developing people. The number of, when I was in Indore, the number of private business schools who came to me saying, can you help? And the moment I would say, yeah, this is all that you need to do, they would all run away because a lot of it was serious effort at trying to develop faculty members. And the moment it came to that, nobody wanted to make all that hard effort. If I told them you build a new building and put a nice signboard on top, they would have all been very happy. They would have gone and built that building. But it's hard work. And you've got to do that over the long run. So I would really urge all of you to look at that very seriously. This is a subject about which I'm very passionate. If any of you want some help from me, I'm willing to help you if you're serious about doing it. No cost, nothing, but I'm willing to help if anybody is interested in putting a serious faculty development program in